First, I'll start by doing a presentation about IDIL and the courses that we have in English at the University of Montpellier. And then there'll also be a Q&A session, so you will be able to ask your questions. So first of all, I'm Laura. I work for the University of Montpellier, and I would be your dedicated person of contact if you wished to apply for an English taught research master's degree at the university. Today, I'm also going to be joined by two ambassadors of the program. So one student who's currently doing a IDIL master's degree, and I'll also be joined by a graduate student who's here as well to share his experience. So they'll be joining a little bit later. So in the first slide, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about Montpellier, because I imagine that not everybody will be familiar with Montpellier. Maybe you haven't heard of this city before. And that's completely normal because it's a smaller city in France. Not that small. Actually, we have about 200,000 people who live in the city of Montpellier. But often people have heard about Paris and not necessarily Montpellier. So Montpellier is located in the south of France. We're actually in between Marseille and Barcelona, and it's really a great city. It's a student city. We have a lot of students here, and we're not too far from the beach. On the right, I've also included some photos of the university so that you can see what it looks like. These are actually photos of the Faculty of Medicine. I included them because actually the Faculty of Medicine at the university is the oldest in the Western world. It dates back to the 12th century, so I thought it could be quite interesting to have a look at those photos. A bit more about the University of Montpellier. So like I was just saying, it's located in the south of France. We're only 30 minutes from the beach and actually 3.5 hours from Paris. So it's still quite easy to access Paris. We actually have a fast train between Montpellier and Paris, so it's quite easy to get there. Also, what's good about Montpellier is the prices aren't the same as Paris. So you benefit from lower prices by being in Montpellier. So that's an advantage. Another thing is we were ranked the best student city in France according to L'Étudiant. So it's not biased. We didn't rank this because of course we would be completely biased. But this was done by L'Étudiant. So it's a separate organization which provides a lot of information for students in France. And they actually ranked us the first city. So there's a great atmosphere to come and study here. The University of Montpellier is known particularly for its influence in ecology. We actually rank second in the world according to the Shanghai ranking in ecology, which is just behind the University of Oxford. And actually, this is something that you can really see at the university and also in the city of Montpellier. You can really see this influence of ecology. For example, public transport in Montpellier is completely free. So you don't have to pay for public transport here. And this is actually an initiative from the mayor of Montpellier because he's also very into sustainability. And it's great being a student and not having to pay for public transport. The University of Montpellier is also quite a big university. We welcome about 52,000 students. And of the 52,000 students, 9,000 students are international students. So approximately 16% of our students are international students, which is also what makes the university so diverse. So below, sorry, I forgot to show you. But there's some photos of the city, so you can see the seaside, which is 30 minutes away from Montpellier. The photo that you can see on the far left is also the center of Montpellier, so that's kind of to give you an idea of what Montpellier looks like. Here are some university rankings so that you can see how the University of Montpellier positions itself on a global scale. First of all, the Shanghai ranking. So it ranks the University of Montpellier as 151st in the world. So we're part of the 200 top universities according to the Shanghai ranking. As I was saying, of course, second in ecology, 51st in water resources, and we're also very well ranked in agricultural sciences as well, especially in the sciences. If you're wondering about the position of the university on a more national scale, on the right you have the leading ranking, and you can see that the University of Montpellier is ranked fourth nationally. So again, it's part of the top 10 universities in France. Here are the IDIL courses so that you can see what type of disciplines you can study in English at the university. So just to remind you, IDIL courses are research taught masters, which are entirely in English. And we're present across all the different faculties at the university. So here you can see the names of the master's courses and the disciplines that we offer. So for example, we have ecology, chemistry, politics, earth and water sciences, photonics, modeling, sciences for human health, quantitative biology, plant and microbiological sciences, and management, of course, as well. So there's a lot of different subjects and disciplines for students to apply for. And what's really good about the IDIL Masters is that if you do carry out an IDIL Masters, then your profile is perfect if you wish to carry out research after your Masters. If you wanted to go on to do a PhD, then you would have a perfect profile to do so. However, you'll see later when I talk about the structure of the course and how the IDIL program works, that even if you wanted to go and work directly after the master's degree and you were looking for something a bit more professional, that's also possible with the IDIL program because of the way it works. So like I was saying, the University of Montpellier is very comprehensive, so we work with many faculties, and here you can see the faculties that offer a research master's taught in English. So we've got Faculty of Law, Faculty of Medicine, Pharmaceutical Sciences, Faculty of Sciences, which is quite a big one for IDIL, Management, of course, as well. And then you can see some of the engineering schools like Polytechnique or l'Institut Agro. So maybe you haven't heard of these before, but these are some of the most prestigious engineering schools in France, like Polytechnique, for example. So now let me tell you about the scholarship for international students, which I think can be particularly interesting for you because I imagine that you are all international students. So what's great about IDIL is we offer a scholarship for all international students. So if you are an international student and you have not previously studied in France before, and you are accepted in an IDIL course, then you will benefit from the IDIL International Scholarship. Now, what is the International Scholarship? What does it mean? Basically, the IDIL Scholarship represents an amount of 5,400 euros, which is granted to students over a period of 2 years. So if you meet all of that criteria that I just mentioned, you'll automatically benefit from this scholarship. And so how it works is it's awarded to students on a monthly basis. So basically, every month during the first semester of the year one and the first semester of the year two, students who have been awarded this scholarship receive 600 euros per month in financial aid. One thing that I always mention here is that although the scholarship provides financial support, students should always plan to have additional funds for living expenses and any unforeseen costs, because of course, depending on how you spend your budget and how you organize yourself, this could vary depending on you. One thing that I will add here as well is that tuition fees at the university are very low. Currently, they're about 250 euros per year in tuition fees, and it's been the case since 2019. And the tuition fees get confirmed for the next year every year in January. So we'll get confirmation of this from January, but currently they are 250 euros per year. Makes IDIL so unique, what makes it different from other master's degrees that you can find elsewhere, especially in France. First of all, the courses are taught entirely in English. Now, this is very unique, especially for a public university in France, because usually public universities would be offering courses taught in French. But for the IDIL courses, this is a bit different because you don't have to justify of a level of French to be able to apply. You just have to justify the B2 level in English. So you'll have to prove this via an English language test, for example. Then you'll be learning through research and practice. So the idea here, and it's what I was saying before, is it's not just about theory. It's not just about doing research. It's also about learning by doing internships and learning by practicing, learning by being exposed to laboratories as well. So like the idea of learning by doing. You will also receive support from a research specialist in your very discipline. Again, this is really unique because the research specialists who specialize in your very discipline will be there to support you on a one-on-one basis. So you won't have a group meeting with this person. It will be very much one-on-one support. And they can help you, whether it's to elaborate your timetable or whether it's to help you during your internship, they'll be there to mentor you. So you really have that mentorship relationship and that support that's provided. IDIL also uses innovative learning and adapted timetables. How it works is quite different from your typical master's degree, at least in France. So the course structure goes, so first of all, you'd have your core units. So your core units, that would be your main discipline. So it would be what you've chosen to study as a master's degree. So for example, if you were accepted in management and sustainable transition, then that would be your core unit, and the core units that you follow would be related to that discipline. In addition to your core units, you'll also be doing non-core units. Now, non-core units allow you to discover a new discipline that's completely different from the discipline that you're already an expert in. And you don't need any prior knowledge or skills to be able to do this. The idea is to allow students to work with other students, other IDIL students as well from different disciplines in order to come to different conclusions on common problems. So the idea is that it's interdisciplinary. So you work across disciplines to address current issues together, and you come to different conclusions, especially when we work across disciplines. Then there's the in-lab units, and these allow you to access immersive experiences in partner laboratories. And I'll mention some of our partners later on in the presentation. And so you can really learn new techniques or methods by taking part in workshops. So again, here the idea is to learn by doing, and we'll see as well that you'll get to carry out 2 internships during your studies. So the idea is to learn by practicing, to learn by doing, and to learn by being exposed. Last but not least are the transversal units. Now these are really great because they enable you to gain new skills, which are very useful for a professional environment. So you'll see that although these are research masters, they also provide students with really unique profiles because you do get that exposure to research, but also the possibility to develop new skills for a professional environment. So the type of skills that you can expect to develop in the transversal units could be anything like efficient reading tactics or how to efficiently use data or maybe how to take notes in English, but different skills like this that can be very useful, especially when you come to work. So as I was just saying, you also get to complete paid internships in partner laboratories. So as you know, so all international students benefit from a scholarship which covers the first semester of year 1 and first semester of year 2. But in addition to this, IDIL students will carry out an internship during their second semester of year 1 and the second semester of year 2. And in France, interns are paid approximately 600 euros per month. Basically, what happens in France is if you carry out an internship that goes over 3 months, then the company, the research laboratory has to pay you 600 euros per month. So this means that our students really receive the financial aid throughout their studies. Another point that's interesting here is that IDIL actually subsidizes the first internship during the first year. So basically, we pay the research units, the laboratories to pay you. So that means that it makes it a lot easier for you to find an internship in your year one. And then because you already have the contact from your first internship, then it in turn makes it easier for you to find an internship in the year two. So underneath here, I've included some of the subjects which you can find in the laboratories. And what I really advise students to do as well is always to look on our website, and I'll give you the link for our website at the end of the presentation, to look at the details for each master's degree. Because like that, you'll be able to find the research unit that you might be doing your internship in, and you can already have a look at the type of research that's done in Montpellier in your discipline. I think it can be really interesting to do that before applying or while doing your application. So let's move to the next slide. Now I'm going to tell you about student life in Montpellier, because I also think it's really important to be aware of student life and activities that you can do in your spare time as well. So the IDIL team that works at the University of Montpellier actually organizes integration for students. So first of all, there is an integration week when you join the program. It lasts about 1 week, and students get to take part in different conferences on different disciplines and different subjects. And this integration week includes all students who are studying a research master's in English at the University of Montpellier. So it's a great time to meet your fellow students who you'll be seeing during your time at the university. But aside from the integration week, we also organise a project that's called the IDIL House Cup, which is managed by our community manager. And as you can see on the photo, it's heavily inspired from a famous movie series, Harry Potter, of course. So at the beginning of the year during integration week, students are actually allocated different houses. And this is completely mandatory, but usually students decide to take part in it because it's quite a fun thing to do. And throughout the year, students compete in challenges to earn points for their houses. And then the winning team gets a prize. And the challenges can be anything like, for example, take a selfie with the mayor of Montpellier, or take your team members out to the cinema, take them to the opera, different things like this that allow you to win points throughout the year. And then at the end, there's usually like a competition, which can be, for example, a volleyball match. And then the winning team who's won the most points throughout the year, they get a prize. And the previous years, the prize has been to go scuba diving. So that's the other photo that you can see on the screen, and it looks like students really enjoyed that. So aside from us, within Montpellier, within the city, there's also other organizations that we work with very closely, and that also provide services for students. And so I think it's good for students to know about this as well before coming to Montpellier. For example, the Erasmus Student Network in Montpellier, a lot of people associate Erasmus to European or European students, but actually the Erasmus Student Network in Montpellier is open to all students, national students, international students, and European students, and they organise an event virtually every single night, which is great because there's always something to do in Montpellier, whether it's going to a language exchange, whether it's going to an event, a party, or trips as well. They organise a lot of trips within the region, so you can go and visit other cities and other places within the Occitanie region. I've also included the SAIC which is just on the right. And the SAIC is a welcome desk for international students, and they help students with anything that's administrative related or visa related information, which is very useful information, especially when we're moving to another country. And one thing which is really useful that they do is if you are accepted at the University of Montpellier and you're coming to Montpellier and you know you're coming to Montpellier, then you can go on their website and you can create a pre-arrival information form. And this basically, you put in all your details when you're arriving, what level of study you are coming to France for, and they will provide you with a form which will detail the steps that you should follow in order to come to France. So what you'll need to do before coming to France. And I think when moving to a new country, sometimes it can be quite overwhelming and quite a stressful experience sometimes. And so this allows you to be organized and to feel supported as well. And we always say to students as well not to hesitate to reach out to them, to send them an email, because they can also help you with any questions before your arrival also. Let's move to the next slide. So now that you've had all of this information, you're probably wondering how to apply for the IDIL graduate program. So applications have been open since October on the Études en France platform. To apply, you'll need to create an account on Études en France, and you'll have to use the Études en France procedure, which some of you might already be familiar with. To find the course that you wish to apply for, it's good to try and use the keyword IDIL. And if this doesn't work, because sometimes it doesn't work, usually it does, but if it doesn't, don't worry. You can just type the full course name and then you should be able to find it. If you can't, just send us an email and we'll be able to help you figure out what's going on. Another point that's really important to mention is that the deadline to apply on Études en France is fixed by your local Campus France office. So depending on your country of residence, this could be completely different. So this is why I would really recommend contacting your local Campus France office to make sure that you're aware of the deadline to apply for the IDIL course, because this can change depending on your country, and it can be good as well to contact them in order to ask other questions regarding information on how to apply on Études en France. Here's a drawing which gives an overview of the main steps that you'd have to follow to come to France and to apply on Études en France. I think it's quite useful to kind of understand the big steps that you'll need to familiarize yourselves with. So first of all, of course, you'll be creating your account on Études en France. Then you will be applying, so you'll have a list of documents that you'll have to submit. This list is also available on our website, on the IDIL website. You can see for each course the detailed lists of entry requirements and documents that you'll need to submit. Then you'll need to pay the administrative fees concerning the Études en France platform. I believe that these are around €100 in administrative fees. After this, you'll get an interview with your Campus France officer. So this interview is really to ask about your project to come to France, ask you different questions about this and validate your candidacy. Then the university will receive your applications and will study your applications. Then hopefully you receive an answer and you're accepted to come to France, and you need to validate your final choice. So that means to accept which university you would like to come to. And then as soon as possible, it's important to get started with the visa procedure, because as soon as you get started, the easier it makes it for afterwards, and then you'll be coming to France. So these are kind of the main steps on the Études en France platform. So now that I've finished with my presentation, we should have some ambassadors who are here with us. So first we have Anna, who's here today. So she's just put her video on, and I will unmute you so that you'll be able to talk. Let me see.
Hello,
Hello. Hi.
can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Okay. So, hi, I am Anna. I am a second year student in the Modeling Biological and Environmental Systems, which is a physics track. And so I have been in IDIL for a year and a half now. And I'm originally from Spain. I arrived in Montpellier when I started the master's. And honestly, I think IDIL is a really good opportunity as a student. I highly recommend it. That's why I'm I highly recommend it. That's why I'm here today. And I feel like the community that IDEAL builds for students is really comfortable. It's also a good opportunity for the future for my career because we have a 6 months internship. I think Laurel already talked about it, but we have a 6 months internship in the first year, which is not normal in general, and also a 6 months internship in the second year. And honestly, it's good to have this hand-on experience and to interact with researchers, not only of our tracks, also with the other tracks, because I, for a moment.
Please.
Sorry. Yes, as I was saying, I think it's a good opportunity also because we have the opportunity to talk to the people in the other tracks and to work with them. We have these non-core and transversal units, so we are learning. Sorry, I think my Wi-Fi is disconnecting, but I just wanted to say that it's a real good opportunity, and I highly recommend it as a student, and also because we can learn about other things and on other tracks, and there's a lot of international people, and it's nice to arrive into a new city with already a community that is here to welcome you and help you through all the process, and I think that's really nice.
Thank you so much, Anna, for your testimony. Thank you for sharing. We also have Alexandros, that's actually just joined us, and who's a graduate of the AGIL graduate program. And so Alexandros is also going to share his experience as a student with us. Hi, Alexandros.
Hey, um, yeah, so as you heard, I'm Alexis. I'm from Greece. So I'm not from Western Europe like you. Um, for me, just like Anna, the best thing in the IDIL was the internships. So the amount of experience you get is probably unmatched in terms of what the master students can do in this age or most universities. You get connections also, which is mm, maybe even more important than what you know, who who you know in some sciences, at least in ecology, which I did. One asterisk that you have to keep in mind is at least for those of you who want to do ecology, you gotta have your game on. Like you should be ready to study and you should be ready to face some challenges. But after that, you'll be so strong that you won't even recognize yourself um, in terms of who you were applying any deal and who you get out and attend the remise de diplôme. Also, Montpellier is a hell of a good city to be a student in. Like the parties are, I love it. Anything else? The courses are nice. I mean, you learn a lot of stuff and they're in English. So, yeah, probably most of you know French. I did in some capacity, but you know how they talk. Like they they make a salad with their words. Now you will understand everything. And they pay you to attend class. So Yeah, that's all. That's my experience. I liked it. It's good.
Thank you so much, Alexandros, for sharing your experience as an IDIL graduate as well. And what you said about the internship, I think, is so true as well. Being able to gain that professional experience at the same time during your master's degree, I think is really valuable, and those contacts as well, and that one-on-one support that you get from your mentor.